Okay, in this session I'm going to look at converting units. So firstly we'll look at length. Length is what we use for perimeter. We use the units millimeters, centimeters, meters and kilometers. To convert from 1 kilometer to 1 meter, we know that 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. To go from meters to centimeters, there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. And to go from centimeters to millimeters, there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So a quick way to remember how to do this, if we're going from kilometers to meters, we multiply by 1,000, just like we did down here. If we're going from meters to centimeters, we multiply by 100. If we're going from centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10. So if we're going in the opposite direction, so from millimeters to centimeters, we do the reverse. We divide by 10. If we go from centimeters to meters, we divide by 100. And if we're going from meters to kilometers, we divide by 1,000. So a quick example of that is if we're going to convert 7.2 kilometers to meters, we look at going from kilometers to meters. The rule says we multiply by 1,000. So we write it like this, 7.2 times 1,000 meters, and we work that out, is 7,200 meters. If we look at an example going the other way, we're going from 530 centimeters to meters. So we're going from centimeters to meters. So we're following the bottom line. We divide by 1,000. So 530 divided by 100 gives us 5.3 meters. So length's straightforward because it's a straight measurement. When we start looking at multiple dimensioned areas, it gets a little bit more complicated. So area, as you know, we use millimeters squares, centimeters squares, meters squares, and kilometers squares. So we're actually talking about a square of space. So if we go from 1 kilometer square, that obviously equals 1,000 meters, but that's 1,000 meters by 1,000 meters. So it's 1,000 squared. So that will give us 1 million meter squares. So that's 1 million meter squares. If we're going from meters to centimeters, we get 100 centimeters, but 100 squares of centimeters. So that will give us 10,000 1 centimeter squares in a 1 meter square. So it's 1 meter, which is 100 centimeters, by 1 meter, which is 100 centimeters. So it's 10,000 little centimeter squares in that box. And similarly, going from 1 centimeter to millimeters, we go to 10 squares of millimeter squares. So that will be 100 millimeters squared. So looking at our conversion, we go kilometers to meters and we multiply by 1,000. We go, 1,000 squared, so that's 1 million. If we're going from meters to centimeters, we're multiplying by 100 squared, which is 10,000. If we're going from centimeters to millimeters, that's 100 squared. And if we're going from the other way, we just do it the other way. So divided by 10 squared, so divided by 100. From centimeters to meters, we're dividing by 10,000 centimeters squared. And from meters to kilometers, we're dividing by 1 million meters squared. So let's have a look at that as an example. So to convert 42 meters squared to how many centimeters squared in that big block of land, we multiply 42 by 10,000 centimeters squared, and that gives us 420 meters squared. Sorry, 420,000 meters squared. And if we go from millimeters to meters, from millimeters to meters, that's a big jump. So we're doing the 100 and we're doing the 10,000. So we're doing, so I've just gone to centimeters squared first. So 35,000 divided by 10,000 is 3.5. That should be centimeters squared. That's wrong, but it's close enough. That should be centimeters squared. And then if we were converting to meters squared, we would then divide that number again by 10,000. Okay, so let's look at volume. If we're going from similarly kilometers to meters, this time because we're looking at cubes. So 1 cubic kilometre is 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre. So we're looking at 1,000 metres by 1,000 metres by 1,000 metres. So when we're multiplying and dividing, we have to use the order of magnitude 1,000 million. So if we're going from kilometres cubed to metres cubed, we're multiplying by 1,000 million. So if we're going from metres to kilometres, we're dividing it by 1,000 million. So similarly, metres to centimetres, we've got a metre by a metre by a metre, so that's 100 centimetres by 100 centimetres by 100 centimetres. So that's going to be 1,000,000 1 centimetre cubes in that space. So we're multiplying from metres to centimetres, we're multiplying by 1,000,000 centimetres cubed, and centimetres to metres, we're multiplying by 1,000,000 centimetres cubed, dividing by 1,000,000 centimetres cubed. Now to go to centimetres to millimetres, 1 centimetre is 10 millimetres each way, so it's 10 millimetre cubes, and so that is 1,000 little 1 millimetre cubes to make up 1 centimetre cube. So if we go from centimetres to metres, we multiply by 1,000, and if we go from millimetres to centimetres, we divide by 1,000. So an example of that, to convert, now we're going cubed, 42 metres cubed to centimetres cubed. We are now multiplying 42 by 1,000 million. So that's 42,000 million centimetres, should be centimetres cubed. Okay, not metres, centimetres cubed. And if we're going from millimetres to metres to centimetres, let's just look at it for centimetres. So 35,000 divided by 1,000,000 gives you 0.035 metres cubed. It should be centimetres cubed. I'll fix this up on the actual display. Okay, so that's it for length, area, and volume.